Alright, hold tight. This is going to get a little wild, but I'll break it down step by step so you understand. We're going to tear apart these complex psychological ideas, flip them around and teach you how to use them like a pro. So let's cut the fluff and get to the meat of this, like a hungry lion devouring a gazelle. Think of dissociation as your brain's escape button. It's like when you're watching a video and suddenly it glitches out. You know when you're overwhelmed by emotions and it's too much, so your mind zones out to protect you. That is your escape button kicking in. But guess what? That's not a bad thing. It's like the brain hitting pause to give you a break. When people are dissociated, it's like they're in a fog, walking around in a trance. The problem is, they don't even know they're in it. It's like they're driving with the brakes on. Everything's stuck and slow, but they don't even realize it. So how do we use this to help them? Here's where we get clever. You want to use association and dissociation like a DJ spinning tracks. When someone's in the fog, you've got to be the one to dial the emotional volume up or down whenever needed. So let's say someone's dealing with a traumatic memory. They're stuck in it. Their head is spinning in circles. They're trapped in the feeling. What do? You associate them with the trauma. Think of it like this. This is your trauma. This is like turning up the volume of that memory and shining a spotlight on it. But here's where the magic happens. You reframe it. You distance them from the pain. You change it from your trauma to that trauma. You see what you did? That one little shift turns the trauma from something intimate and personal into something they can look at from the outside. You just hit the mute button on the emotional reaction. They're no longer tangled in the mess. They can see it, not feel it. Here's where we chunk up and chunk down. It's like zooming in and zooming out on a map. You can either get in close and focus on the tiny details, or zoom out and see the big picture. When you're working with someone's trauma, you need to zoom in onto the specifics sometimes. What exactly happened in that moment? That's you chunking down. You're looking for the exact trigger, the pain. Then you chunk up and shift the perspective. What did that experience teach you about yourself? What did it show you about your strength? Now you're broadening the horizon and reframing the experience from a story of pain into one of growth. Zoom out enough and suddenly the trauma doesn't control them anymore. They control the story. When you're pacing, you're walking alongside someone, matching their rhythm. It's like stepping in sync with them on a tightrope. You're acknowledging where they are emotionally and validating their experience. Because you can't lead someone somewhere if you don't know where the hell they're standing, so pace them. But then, once you've built that connection, you start to lead them. This is where the magic happens. You can't just yank them out of the fog. You have to gently guide them. Like leading someone out of a dark room. At first, you have to match their pace, but eventually, you'll begin to subtly change the direction and show them another way. You move from your trauma to that trauma. And you start saying things like, that trauma. It's not the you of today. It's part of a past version of you. It's a lesson, not a curse. Here's where you reframe things using sleight of mouth. Fancy NLP tricks that make people think differently without them even realizing it. It's like magic, except it's not about pulling rabbits out of hats. It's about pulling new beliefs out of people's heads. Let's say someone is stuck in the belief, I'm broken, I'll never be whole. You don't say, that's not true, you're not broken. That's too direct. It's like walking up to a brick wall and telling it to move. No, you shift the frame, you say, what if what feels broken to you now is just a part of you that's healing? Do you see how you just shifted their perception? By using these language patterns, you make them reevaluate their whole worldview. It's like turning their mental TV dial from static to clear reception. All of a sudden, the world looks different, because they've learned to see it in a way that's empowering. That's the Ericksonian hypnosis bit. Subtle, clever, and powerful as hell. Alright, now let's get into the science of this. When you reframe someone's trauma, you're literally rewiring their brain. Neuroplasticity is the key here. It's the brain's ability to form new neural connections. Every time you help someone change how they perceive their past, you're giving them a new, better mental map. It's like a GPS that was stuck on recalculating, and finally you set it straight. Now, dissociating from trauma, it's like hitting the reset button. When you change someone's association from this is my trauma to this is that trauma, you're literally teaching the brain it doesn't have to be personally attached to the pain. You're upgrading their software, changing their old, outdated programs to something that works. It's like swapping out a broken engine for a brand new one that purrs like a kitten. So the consequences of not doing this, it's like ignoring a leak in the roof. You think it's not a big deal, but one day the ceiling caves in. If you don't start using these techniques, if you don't shift your thinking, you end up stuck in the same patterns, watching the same old movies with no resolution. You stay trapped in your old beliefs. Your trauma stays your trauma, and you end up building a prison around yourself, brick by emotional brick. But when you do this, when you start reframing and using language to unhook people from their pain, the world opens up like a garden blooming in spring. Your life changes, their life changes. You see possibilities instead of limitations. Now let's talk about your fear. Why are you scared of doing this? Maybe you're worried about how people will react. You're afraid if you use these techniques, people might think you're manipulating them. But here's the truth. This is not manipulation. This is healing. This is helping people see their own power. You're not playing mind games. You're using powerful tools to guide someone to a better life. Fear of how people react, that's just your own limiting belief, like a heavy chain holding you back. The truth is, you're not doing this for them. You're doing this for the greater good. And if they're going to resist change, that's on them, not you. The most common limiting beliefs, they're like invisible handcuffs. I'm not good enough. I can't change. I'll always be this way. And the worst part, these beliefs, they aren't even true. They're just stories we've been telling ourselves. But when you interrupt them, like slamming on the brakes in the middle of a car chase, you stop the mental momentum. You change the direction. You shift the course. And you create a new possibility. How do you do this? You pace, then you lead. You meet someone where they're at, acknowledge their pain. Then you show them the door to a different life. And you lead them out. Now get ready to step up and start using this. This is your moment to change your beliefs, change others' beliefs, and shift the entire damn game. It's up to you. You have the tools now. Go use them.